Let's get started with our first news. Kamaru Usman shared his thoughts on why he wants to see a dialogy between Alex Pereira and Magomed. Usman said he'd absolutely love to see that third fight because he believes Pereira didn't give his best performance last time due to something happening behind closed doors. He explained that the same goes for Ankalaev, who also didn't perform to his full potential. According to Usman, this is what makes a trilogy so special. It's for all the marbles. He said, "You have to govern yourself. I don't care what you're coming into this fight with. This is it. This is the trilogy fight. You have to prepare yourself mentally and physically because there are no excuses." Usman pointed out that whenever a fighter loses, we hear about what went wrong afterward. Pereira lost his title, and we heard what happened. Now Ankalaev has lost his title, and again we're hearing explanations, but for the trilogy, there can be no excuses. Usman emphasized that getting to the fight as healthy as possible is part of a fighter's job. He said this is what makes fighting so incredibly tough. You have to manage yourself, your health, your training, and your mindset to perform at your peak. He added that if the trilogy does happen, it's going to be a true test of who governs themselves better when everything is on the line. He also mentioned the potential timing of the fight. The next big card at the White House is reportedly set for June, which is about 8 months away. Usman questioned whether Pereira would be willing to wait that long to fight again. However, he believes Ankalaev is one of the most talented and well-rounded fighters in the division, possibly the most complete athlete there. Usman concluded by saying that if the trilogy doesn't happen, then Ankalaev versus Jiri Prochazka would also be a damn good fight that fans would love to see. Moving on to another news, Renato Moicano and Gilbert Burns have stirred up quite a debate in the MMA world after saying they believe Merab's resume is actually better than Khabib's. Burns didn't hold back his opinion, saying straight up that Merab's body of work speaks for itself. He said Merab is better than Khabib. You can hate me all you want, but his resume is better than Khabib's. Burns added that when you look at it pound for pound, it's hard to deny the level of opponents Merab has faced and the way he's dominated them. Moicano echoed those thoughts, agreeing that Merab's consistency and the sheer level of competition he's beaten make his resume stand out. He pointed out that while Khabib was undefeated and one of the greatest champions ever, his title run wasn't as long or as deep as what Merab is currently building. Moicano said that Merab's recent run, where he's beaten some of the top names in the bantamweight division, deserves major respect. He emphasized that Merab has been fighting killer after killer, and he just keeps on winning in dominant fashion. Burns went even further, saying you could make the argument right now that Merab is the best fighter in the entire UFC. He highlighted how Merab's cardio, pace, and relentless pressure have completely broken top contenders. Burns said, "Look at what Merab's done. He's faced elite wrestlers, dangerous strikers, world-class grapplers, and he's dominated every single one of them." He compared that to Khabib's career, noting that Khabib retired early, leaving many fans wondering what more he could have achieved if he continued. Burns admitted that Khabib's dominance was unmatched during his era, but Merab's current streak and level of competition make his resume stand on its own. Moicano added that what makes Merab's case even stronger is his willingness to fight anyone, anytime. He's never turned down a challenge, and he's constantly improving. Both fighters agreed that while Khabib's legacy will always be legendary, Merab's active dominance is something special. They believe if he keeps going at this pace, Merab could end up being recognized as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in UFC history. Moving on to another news, Arman made it clear that he does not believe Paddy Pimblett can beat Ilya if they ever fight. Arman, who's set to face Dan Hooker at UFC Qatar, recently appeared on the Ariel Helwani show and shared his honest opinion on a potential matchup between the two. When asked if he thought Paddy could defeat Ilya, Arman instantly replied, "No way." He was very confident in his answer, leaving no room for doubt. Arman explained that in his view he's the only lightweight capable of beating Ilya right now. He said, "Just me can beat Ilya. That's all for now in our division." According to him, even the UFC knows that, and that's why they've been hesitant to book a fight between the two. Arman believes the promotion is keeping him and Ilya apart, trying to build both fighters separately until the timing is right. He added that if he performs at a high level in his upcoming fight and finishes Dan Hooker impressively, the UFC won't be able to avoid him anymore. Arman said, "If I go out there, perform very well, and finish Hooker, they can't ignore me. They can't keep me away from Ilya any longer. He's fully aware that this fight against Hooker could be his opportunity to make a statement to the division and to the UFC matchmakers. Arman also mentioned that he needs to do something spectacular, something that proves he's not just another top contender but a real title threat. "I have to finish him," he said confidently. "I have to show that I deserve to fight for the title." He understands that a decision win won't be enough. He wants to deliver a performance that leaves no doubt about his championship potential. Throughout the interview, Arman's confidence stood out. He made it clear that he sees himself as the biggest danger to Ilya in the lightweight division. He respects Ilya's skills but believes his own mix of wrestling, striking, and pressure makes him the only man capable of ending Ilya's unbeaten run. Arman closed by saying that if everything goes according to plan in Qatar, the UFC will have no choice but to give him the fight he's been waiting for, a shot at Ilya and ultimately a chance at UFC gold. Moving on to another news, Ray Longo, the longtime coach of Merab, shared his thoughts on what truly makes Merab such an exceptional fighter. According to Longo, it's not just about skill, technique, or physical ability, it's the intangibles that set Merab apart from everyone else. He explained that you simply can't teach what Merab has. His mindset, confidence, and relentless work ethic are what make him special. Longo said, "That's 100%. It's the intangibles you can't train. He just loves what he's doing." He described Merab as someone who genuinely enjoys the grind, who thrives in the chaos of competition, and who never loses his composure no matter how intense things get. Longo even compared Merab's mental strength to the legendary Mike Tyson, saying that Merab has reached a point where his confidence and aura are intimidating before the fight even begins. He recalled when Corey Sandhagen's coach said, "He's human too, he's gonna get tired like everybody else." Longo responded, "Yeah, I don't know about that." He explained that sure, Merab can get tired eventually, but the real question is whether his opponent can make him more tired than they are, and that's nearly impossible. Merab just doesn't stop. His pace, his pressure, and his belief in himself break fighters mentally before they break physically. Longo also praised Merab's comfort level inside the octagon. He said Merab's confidence continues to grow with every fight. The more he competes, the more dangerous he becomes. Longo pointed out that Merab's stand-up game has improved massively, something he showcased in his last performance. He's now taking more calculated risks, trusting his instincts, and attacking with purpose. According to Longo, Merab wouldn't have opened up like that 6 fights ago, but his evolution has been incredible. He added that Merab's success also comes from his comfort with who he is, both in life and in fighting. He's calm, composed, and just loves to be in there. Longo said that's what makes him so hard to deal with. On tape he might look normal, but once you're inside that cage with him, everything changes. When you start getting tired and realize he's still pushing forward, it becomes one of the worst feelings in the world. That relentless energy, that unbreakable mindset, that's what makes Merab truly great. Moving on to another news, Israel Adesanya has voiced his opinion on who he believes should get the next shot at the light heavyweight title, and according to him, it's none other than Carlos Ulberg. Adesanya said that Ulberg deserves to face Alex Pereira for the championship next, even after Jiri Prochaska's recent knockout victory over Khalil Rountree at UFC 320. Despite the hype around Jiri's win, Adesanya believes Ulberg has earned his opportunity through consistency, patience, and his recent performances inside the octagon. Ulberg is coming off an impressive knockout victory over Dominic Reyes at UFC Perth, a fight that showcased not only his power but also his composure and growth as a fighter. Adesanya, who trains alongside Ulberg at City Kickboxing, praised his teammate's evolution and stated that Ulberg is ready for the biggest challenge of his career. On his YouTube channel, Adesanya explained, "I still think Carlos should get the next shot. It was a good fight, a crazy fight, but if it's Alex again, they're probably gonna give it to Carlos, as they should." He added that a matchup between Carlos and Alex would be a massive fight for the division, one that fans would be excited to see. "I think Carlos versus Alex, that's the fight I like. That should be next," Adesanya said confidently. He went on to explain that Ulberg has quietly worked his way up the rankings without much trash talk or controversy. Instead, he's let his performances do the talking. Adesanya noted that Ulberg has been one of the hardest workers in the gym and that his striking, defense, and fight IQ have all evolved tremendously. He said Ulberg's style would match up well against Pereira's, making for a technical yet explosive title bout. Adesanya also acknowledged Jiri's performance at UFC 320 but maintained that Ulberg's recent run should not be overlooked. In his view, the UFC should reward consistency and momentum, and Ulberg has both. He ended his thoughts by saying that Pereira versus Ulberg would be a fresh matchup for fans and a true test for both men, a battle between two elite strikers with knockout power and championship ambitions. Moving on to another news, Rafael Fiziev is pushing through recovery after suffering a serious knee injury that forced him to withdraw from his highly anticipated fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC Rio. The lightweight contender had to step away from the matchup after sustaining the injury, leaving fans disappointed, but he's already working hard to get back on track. Recently, Fiziev reposted a video showing himself undergoing shockwave therapy as part of his rehabilitation process, proving that he's fully committed to returning stronger than ever. In the video, Fiziev can be seen lying on a treatment table while the therapist works on his injured knee. Despite the pain, he manages to smile and joke around, showing the same playful energy that fans have come to love. His team can be heard laughing in the background, mentioning that the injury came from a go-karting incident. One of them said, "Yeah, he crashed, and then he just straight T-boned him." They joked about how unlucky the situation was, especially since it happened outside of training. The conversation continued as they laughed about the moment, saying, "This is the go-karting incident, right next to your neck, huh? That's crazy." It was a light-hearted exchange, but it revealed just how unexpected and unfortunate the injury really was. Fiziev's team added, "Look how much fun he's having," as he tried to stay positive during his therapy session. Fiziev has always been known for his incredible toughness, work ethic, and high-energy fighting style. Even though the injury forced him out of one of the biggest opportunities of his career, he's not letting it slow him down. His focus now is on healing properly and coming back stronger. Fans are hoping to see him return to the octagon in peak condition because Fiziev has consistently delivered some of the most exciting fights in the lightweight division. While no timeline has been confirmed for his return, the fact that he's already deep into recovery is a good sign. Fiziev's positive attitude and determination show that he's not just waiting around, he's actively working to rebuild himself. For now, he continues to undergo therapy and keep his spirits high, proving once again that true fighters never quit, even when faced with setbacks outside the cage. Moving on to another news, Daniel Cormier has confirmed that Magomed Ankalaev fought Alex Pereira with a broken rib. During a recent discussion, Cormier revealed that the injury was very real and not an excuse made after the loss. He explained that he personally saw footage of Ankalaev receiving injections in his rib before the fight to help him manage the pain and make it to fight night. According to Cormier, Ankalaev was only able to hit pads and do light cardio for about a month and a half leading up to the bout, as the rib injury severely limited his training. Cormier said, "First off, let's talk about the injury right away. Ankalaev did have a rib injury. This is not a lie. This is not an excuse. I saw the video myself of him getting injections to help him make it to the fight. Despite the injury, Ankalaev insisted on competing, determined to prove himself against Pereira once again. He wanted to go out there and beat Pereira for the second time, knowing how significant that victory would have been for his career and his legacy." Cormier mentioned that several people close to Ankalaev had advised him not to fight, telling him to take time off and recover. But Ankalaev refused to back down. He wanted to prove that he could overcome the adversity and still perform at the highest level. However, Cormier admitted that he's not sure if a fully healthy Ankalaev would have changed the outcome of the fight given how Pereira performed that night. He said, "Even if he was at 120%, I don't know if he would have beaten Pereira on that night. Pereira just fought better. He had the right game plan, and he executed it perfectly." Cormier gave credit to Pereira for his composure, power, and ability to control the pace of the fight, emphasizing that nothing should be taken away from his victory. Cormier wrapped up by saying that while Ankalaev wasn't at a 100%, it doesn't diminish the effort he put in or the heart he showed by stepping into the cage injured. It highlights just how tough and determined he is as a fighter. Even though he came up short, the fact that he fought through a broken rib shows the kind of warrior spirit that defines MMA at the highest level.